Ashanti Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party NPP, Bernardine Tribo-Siakon, popularly known as Chairman Untumi, has been arrested by operatives of the Economic and Organized Crime Office, ECO, shortly after leaving the headquarters of the Criminal Investigations Department CID in Accra. Chairman Untumi had reported to the CID for further questioning in connection with alleged and allegations of illegal mining activities, including operating in forest reserves without proper authorizations. His appearance was in compliance with bail conditions following an earlier investigation. Upon exiting the CID premises, EOCO officers intercepted and detained him. As of now, the specific reasons behind his detention action remain undisclosed and no official statement has been issued by the agency. Untumi's arrest adds a new dimension to the ongoing investigations into illegal mining, an issue that has sparked national concern over environmental degradation and corruption. His legal team and party officials are yet to comment publicly on the development. Now to the presidency. Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman has resumed official duties following return to the presidency. She attended a general meeting of political appointees on Monday, where she has welcomed the Chief of Staff, Mr. Julius Deborah, on behalf of the presidential team. Mr. Deborah expressed the team's happiness at her return, saying they were pleased to have her back in office. In response, Professor Opoku-Agyeman thanked her colleagues for her warm reception and praised them for their continuing efforts in advancing President Mahama's vision of resettling and rebuilding the nation. She encouraged the team to press forward with renewed energy and determination as they continue to deliver on the government's mandate. Away from that now to CD appreciation. Let's look at President John Dramani Mahama has revealed that recent gains by Ghanaian cedi have delayed and played a pivotal role in reducing the country's total debt burden by nearly 150 billion Ghana cedi. Speaking during a high-level presidential session at the 60th anniversary meeting of the African Development Bank, AFDB, and the 51st annual meeting of the African Development Fund, ADF, in Abidjan, President Mahama said Ghana was on track to achieve its medium-term debt sustainability target far earlier than expected. Should the cedi's appreciation continue, the president attributed this significant progress to key fiscal and monetary interventions undertaken by his administration over the past 5 months, describing them as bold, necessary steps to restore investor confidence, stabilize the economy, and secure long-term growth.
Next question is to President Mahama. Earlier, Vice President Mpango cautioned, and very wisely so, about the need for debt sustainability. And Ghana in particular seems to have done very well in restructuring its high levels of public debt. But since you've come into office, what specifically are you doing to return Ghana to a much more acceptable and sustainable debt path?
Yeah, thank you very much. Well, it's history. Everybody knows now that Ghana defaulted on its debt. We engaged in a painful debt exchange program to restructure our debts and to bring debt to GDP to a range of about 55 to 58% by 2028. The debt restructuring was concluded early this year with our bilateral creditors, and therefore it brought, one, the quantum of debt down, that's the size, but it also stretched out the repayment of the debt. That brought us down to about 75, 76% debt to GDP. Since then, we're left with just 3% of the debt. We've covered 97%. It's left with the commercial creditors who hold just about 3% of the debt. And once we do that, then it means that the whole debt restructuring has been completed. But like I said when I spoke at first, I said we need to put any credit that we take or any debt that we take into the most productive parts of our economy in providing infrastructure so that you can have a rate of return on debt. You must do smart borrowing, taking debt where you can create debt escrows so that the income for which you invested the credit can go to repay. For instance, I mean, expressways that are tolled, where the toll revenues are escrowed so that they go to pay the expressway in 25 years or so. I think that these are the kinds of things that we should do. There are many examples. For instance, we built a first-class port, and that, again, did not sit on our public debt. We made our Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority and their partners, Meridian Port Services, build the ports, which cost us about $1 billion, and that port is paying for itself, and that debt does not sit on our books. We built a new airport terminal we call Terminal 3, and again, we built it on the balance sheet of the Ghana Airports Company Limited. And so that project is paying for itself without sitting on our public debt. And so these are some of the innovative ideas that we need to introduce in order that our debts continue to be sustainable. But also, increasingly, one of the push factors for the debt is the strength of the value of the local currency. Our debt continued to multiply because the cedi continued to grow weaker. And so you needed more cedis. Because our public debt is stated in cedis, the weaker the cedi becomes against the foreign currencies, the higher it pushes up your debt. Fortunately, I mean, some measures we put in place have recently begun to show results, and the cedi has been strengthening. And so we've reduced our total debt over the last 5 months by almost 150 billion cedis, which is very significant. And so if that trajectory continues, the target of reaching 55 to 58% debt sustainability by 2028 will be reached by the end of this year. And that means that it gives us fiscal space to begin to invest in the most productive sectors of the economy. But like I said, we need to look inward, boost domestic revenue, cut wasteful government expense.
Away from that, in a move to strengthen Ghana's health system, the Minister for Health, Honorable Kwabena Minta Akando, has officially sworn in the new board members of 4 key institutions in Ghana's health sector, emphasizing their roles in regulation and financing as the nation pursues universal health coverage and health reforms. The agencies, which includes the Ghana College of Nurses and Midwives, Medical and Dental Council, the National Health Insurance Authority (NHIA), and the Pharmacy Council, are expected to play central roles in addressing the country's mounting health challenges, including non-communicable diseases, workforce attribution, and rising demand for quality care. Speaking at the ceremony, Honorable Kwabena Minta Akando underscored the government commitment to rolling out the Ghana Medical Trust Fund, which is under the Mahama Cares, and highlighted each agency's role in supporting this initiative. He charged the Medical and Dental Council with ensuring ethical, competent care across all regions and called on the NHIA to align its benefit packages with national priorities, especially in financing care for chronic diseases. The Pharmacy Council was tasked with improving medicine distribution, eradicating opioids, and strengthening pharmaceutical regulation in collaboration with the private sector, while the Ghana College of Nurses and Midwives was urged to lead workforce reform and help curb health worker migration by enforcing training and professional development. The minister encouraged all board members to collaborate, harmonize their efforts, and always prioritize the need for Ghana's patients, saying irrespective of whether we will do, the ultimate goal is the common Ghanaian. Still on health, the Ghana Health Service GHS has confirmed 10 additional cases of mpox, increasing the national total to 19. 5 of the confirmed cases are currently in addition and receiving treatment. No deaths have been recorded. The Ghana Health Service, in an update, said surveillance has been intensified across the country, particularly in areas affected by the outbreak. The public has been advised to practice preventive measures, including regular hand washing, avoiding physical contact with individuals showing symptoms, especially these or those with expected and unexplained rashes, and reporting to the nearest health facility. Mpox is a viral zoonotic disease related to smallpox. Symptoms include fever, headache, swollen lymph nodes, back pain, muscle aches, and skin rashes. Transmission occurs through close contact with infected individuals, body fluids, respiratory droplets, and contaminated materials. The Ghana Health Service says it is monitoring the situation and will provide further updates as necessary. Away from that, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration has announced that the Embassy of Ghana in Washington, D.C. will reopen on Thursday, May 29, 2025. The mission has been closed, following the recall of home-based staff and the suspension of local staff last Monday. In a statement issued on Tuesday, Monday 27, the ministry said a team of experienced diplomats from Accra had been deployed to take over the management of the embassy. The team is being led by a senior officer from the ministry who has been tasked with reorganizing operations, reviewing existing systems, and finalizing ongoing administrative reforms. An information technology team is also on the ground to restructure the embassy's website and payment systems. According to the ministry, the objective is to eliminate all unauthorized and unofficial payment links and restore order to the embassy's online platforms. The ministry wishes to inform the general public that the embassy is set to reopen on Thursday, 29 May 2025. We are sure that measures have been put in place to clear the backlog. The statement read, the ministry stated that the circumstances leading to the suspension of operation have been reported to the Auditor General and the Auditor General for further action. It added that matter may lead to sanction, although no specific individuals were named and no additional details were provided. In the interim, the ministry urged the public to direct all inquiries through the official embassy contact. The ministry reiterated its commitment in improving service delivery across its mission abroad and ensuring transparency in their operations. Still on the Ghanaian embassy scandal, the Deputy Minority Leader, Honorable Patricia Pieje, has demanded immediate answers from government over what she described as a sweeping and unilateral action in relation to the recent embassy scandal. Raising the issue in Parliament during Tuesday's sitting, Honorable Apieji expressed minorities' dismay over the failure of the executive to provide prior notice and engage Parliament before implementing what she termed as far-reaching measure with political and potential diplomatic consequences.
It is an astonishing and deeply regrettable decision that the government's response to internal administrative failure is to shut down one of our most important missions abroad, even if only for what they call a few days. This embassy, located in the capital of the United States, the world's most influential nation, is not a district office of a private company. It is a sovereign outpost of the Republic of Ghana. It represents the face, the dignity, and the credibility of our nation. to shatter it abruptly because a single staff member was caught engaging in criminal behavior, conduct that could and should be prosecuted without disrupting diplomatic operations. It's not just excessive, it is diplomatically amateurist. Mr. Speaker, the ministry decision has already caused confusion and distress to Ghanaians abroad, many of whom rely on the embassy for consular services, visa and passport renewals, and critical documentation. It sends a dangerous signal to the international community that our government lacks the institutional maturity to isolate wrongdoing without imploding on the entire system. It also fuels perceptions that Ghana is unstable in its diplomatic governance and unstrategic in managing scandals. Moreover, how does a government that claims to value national reputation explain away with a dramatic act to its foreign partners or multilateral agencies given to the U.S. State Department? What assurances can we be given to the U.S. State Department, investors, or multilateral agencies headquartered in Washington, D.C., that Ghana remains a reliable and stable diplomatic partner? No other serious nation reacts to an internal administrative fraud by collapsing its entire embassy structure unless it is filled straight or one deeply unsure of itself. Let it be stated unequivocally, this House would not allow such recklessness to go unexamined. The Minister for Foreign Affairs will be summoned before Parliament without delay to provide a full account of the decision to close our embassy, the legal basis for doing so, the implication for Ghana's diplomatic posture, and the cost, both financial and reputational, this country will bear. We demand to know how and why a sweeping measure to know how.
Away from the Ghana Embassy scandal, according to the coordinated demolition exercise targeting illegal structures on the Sakumono Ramsar wetland has been carried out by the Greater Accra Regional Security Council, RECSED, in collaboration with the National Security and the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO. The move comes in response to severe flooding in the Tema West municipality, which destroyed properties and displaced residents. Leading the operation, Greater Accra Regional Minister Linda Kwele Oklo stated that the demolition was in line with the presidential directive aimed at addressing the perennial flooding challenges across the country. She stressed that the destruction of wetland comprises the environment's ability to manage floodwaters and warned of strict measures to prevent re-encroachment. Despite previous demolition efforts, the Sakumono Ramsar site, a protected area known for its ecological significance, has witnessed rampant and persistent construction. The minister noted that the current exercise is a more determined and coordinated response, signaling a zero-tolerance stance against illegal development. The Municipal Chief Executive MCE for Tema West, Ludwig Tome confirmed that a building permit had been issued for the structures being torn down. Its counterpart, Tema MCE, Ebi Wright, attributed the unauthorized construction to corruption and misuse of power, stating that some developers exploited their influence to acquire and develop land within the protected wetland zone. Director General of NADMO, Major Wright Dr. Joseph Bekachi Kuyan, warned that encroachment Ramsar site not only intensifies flooding but also endangers lives and property. He said the current demolition forms part of a broader flood mitigation strategy for Accra, and the NADMO will collaborate with the Forestry Commission to reforest the cleared areas under the Green Accra initiative. According to Thomas Aqua, site manager for the Forestry Commission, the illegal structures were situated in the core zone of the Sakumono Ramsar site, covering 8.23 hectares of the total of 13.6 square kilometers area. He noted that past efforts to preserve the wetland faced resistance and even threats of violence from the land guards. Let's take a break on local stories and go for business.
Playing for your country, enye easy. Scoring, enye easy. Avoiding injuries, enye easy. Winning, enye easy, Charlie. But you know what be easy now? Kivo 4-in-1.
This advert is FDA approved.
The Ministry of Energy has successfully retrieved 2,637 containers belonging to the Electricity Company of Ghana (ECG), a figure that significantly exceeds the initially reported 1,300 missing containers. This revelation follows weeks of public concern and official investigation into the status of critical power equipment at the Tema Port. Speaking to the Daily Graphic in Accra, the ministry spokesperson Richmond Roxon disclosed that a ministerial committee task force with verifying the ECG's claim of 2,491 uncleared containers uncovered a total of 2,637 containers consigned to ECG across multiple port terminals. As of April 30, 2025, the containers were distributed as follows: Meridian Port Services, 860 containers; GPA Terminals, 1,237 containers; National Security, that's 2,272 containers; Amari Terminal, 194 containers; Atlas Manufacturing Terminal, 20 containers. The situation came to the public attention in March when the newly appointed Minister for Energy and Green Transition, John Jinapor, met with ECG officials and was informed of 2,491 uncleared containers filled with essential equipment, including electrical cables. An initial port audit however, revealed only 1,134 containers, raising alarms over 1,357 units. In response, a fact-finding committee chaired by Prof. Innocent Senior was formed. A further high-level inter-agency committee, including representatives from the National Security, Ministry of Transport, Ghana Ports and Harbour Authority (GPHA), and Customs, was later constituted to deepen the investigation. According to Mr. Roxon, 2,437 containers had exceeded the 60-day clearance window and were categorized under the uncleared cargo list UCL. Only 41 had been cleared, leaving 2,583 containers pending as of April 30. The Chief of Staff, Julius Deborah, has since ordered the immediate evacuation of all retrieved containers to secure ECG warehouses with a full inventory mandate to ensure transparency and accountability. Mr. Roxon noted that the delay in clearing the containers had incurred excessive port charges, prompting the ministry to engage ECG and port authorities on a road ramp for settling outstanding fees. He further revealed that the procurement method used by ECG concerning goods without timely clearance contributed significantly to the issue. As a result, Minister Jinapor has ordered a review of ECG's procurement policies, suspended all non-essential procurement, directed by ECG to abandon the consignment method for future procurement. The former managing director of ECG, Dubik Mahama, has been invited by security agencies and a caution statement has been taken. The Office of the Attorney General is expected to advise on any further legal action. Let's do some sports.